It's prime time, baby. Welcome back. We got the last match of the night here in our green group. It's time to find out. Will our #1 seed remain unbeaten, or will it be the Europeans stealing a big upset tonight? Introducing first, give it up for Red Reserve. Shawnee, Joe, Niall, and Urban have played so many great games this weekend, but this match is going to be their toughest one yet. They're going up against the unbeaten #1 team in the world. Let's hear it for OpTic Gaming. Crim 6, Karma, Formal, and Scump have not dropped a game today. Will they keep this streak? We're about to find out. Let's send it over to Maven and Courage.
Thank you so much, Puckett. Yeah, I mean, as big as this is for OpTic and people are excited, we've got a lot of fans in the house, Red Reserve needs a victory here, buddy.
Yeah, they definitely want to distance themselves as much as possible from that 4th place spot. They want to keep their playoffs hopes alive. This is actually a must-win match, to be completely honest, in my opinion. Already, we are watching Formal, who tries to surge right out towards that bottom bike path and does get cut down, but think of what we've seen so far today. It's a tale of 2 completely different stories for these teams. OpTic Gaming, a perfect 3-0 map count, while Red Reserve got 3-0 swept earlier on today.
Yeah, and just talking about the last series, how big is this for E6 today? I mean, if you thought it might be a tight race between them, Elevate, and Red Reserve, they go 6-1 in map count. What an incredible day 2 for them. Is in order for things to get kind of interesting going into day 3, like you would need a Red Reserve upset, or they would need to at least push this to a game 5, something like that.
Yeah, and we'll see what they can do now, but we know OpTic Gaming, they've been steamrolling. One thing to note, though, when they faced Elevate earlier today, it was not an easy 3-0 sweep by any means. The Hardpoint, a 25-second difference. The S&D, round 11. The Uplink, a 1-point game. They had some slow starts at Hardpoint, and a lot of it came down to some sluggish slang at times, where then they would finally just kick it into gear, put it themselves in that OpTic Gaming zone that we know, and then take over the map.
And I was wondering a little bit, coming into this weekend, I think most of you guys thought that OpTic would go 6-0. I thought they'd get bit on like just one series. Like they'd be a little bit overconfident. They would feel just completely in command of the group, and someone would steal a series for them. We'll see if that'll happen. Like you said, the series just previous today was very, very tight. Can Red Reserve play them as tough? So far, so good, but now it's a break for OpTic Gaming. 3 coming through on the kill feed, and now they're going to rack up some time in Barn.
Scump just absolutely melted Shawnee right there. The difference between the K-bar up close and that NV4. Crim6 even getting involved now with that ERAD, as this is the most control OpTic Gaming have had so far in this map as they look to take their first lead of the game. There it is, 33-32 OG.
Let's see if Scump can get these Trinity rockets and the bombardment here working with the 5 streak. There's still 1 player in behind. They're sniffed out. Good awareness from Scump as he lines up Shawnee. And now just 100 off the bombardment, and just like that, with the snap of a finger, OpTic Gaming back in control of this game.
Wondering if he decides to call on these Trinities. Doesn't appear so as of yet. As now OpTic Gaming will charge on forward, fully streaked out of Scump, 10-3 over triple positive on a 7 streak, and now he's hungry for more in the hard point. He knows the player's one shot. Scump, what a start from him.
Oh God, the streak ends at 8, but already so many tools to work with. We've swapped POVs over to Karmas. He's trying to do a job contesting here at Bike Path. You see on X-Ray, he's got 1 right across under the bridge. He's got teammates looking over him as well. Weak player in the back, can't finish it. It's Joe that's actually going to push him out.
You see Crim there also dying to the hands of Joe. 60-43 right now. Red Reserve still narrowly holding on to this lead. And a lot of it comes down to where their kills are coming in. Right now, all around this hard point, keeping Shawnee protected inside that hill. It looks like they'll finally lose control of these new baseball spawns. And we talked about this on Throwback a lot, Maven. We've seen it more and more as of late. As teams have gotten better at going for those breaks, we see less and less teams getting full 60s on any of these hills. Typically, baseball's the one where you can get the majority of your time.
Oh, yeah, but it is so scrappy compared to something like our last hard point that we watched. And when you're talking about a map like that breakout that we saw in the game 1 of the previous series, much more back and forth. So difficult to rack up a ton of time. Now, I want to talk a little bit. You see Joe doing brilliant right now. He's at 12-9, but who's going to be the person? They just get clean wipe from OpTic, but who's going to be the guy to help out Urban? I know Urban's not playing great right now, but he has throughout the course of the weekend. Is it by committee? Everybody's got to get going?
If you're going to beat OpTic Gaming, it needs to be everybody. Pretty simple. And when you have Scump still with these full streaks, the guy's 17-6. He's on another 6 streak now. you might as well just start calling into these trinities because he's about to double up on him.
Yeah, 25 off getting another set. Get somewhere and just line them up, but he will drop. But that is just an absurd stat line right now. And this is a map where, remember Dallas, we saw him drop, what, 51? He can go off here. He seems to have really good just kind of map awareness and sense of when to hit these timings. And it's been beautiful so far. Is OpTic Gaming about to break the 100-point mark?
Wow, Scump is far and away leading this lobby. It's a battle of redheads between him and Joe so far for the slaying between these two teams. The big difference, though, you could just see OpTic Gaming on that baseball hardpoint. They got close to a full 60 on it, Maven, as Red Reserve were just never able to crack through the defense.
Yeah, this is interesting to see Formal leading the way in time. He'll do that quite a bit when playing kind of that anchor role, but we just saw General in the last series. On this map, he let his teammates rack at the time. He was more pushing up and setting into power position, so a little bit of different play you see from two of the top ARs in the game.
Well, you heard Proto also mention in the interview that I did with him that Enigma 6, they just recognized that General was doing a good job in the hard point. Might as well just leave him there. If he's gunning everybody that tries to challenge him from long range with that NV4, let him do his job, let him be comfortable, we'll play around that. And General was going off at a 2.0 KD. It's always good to see when Formal knows where, hey, what's my best role right now for the team? Sometimes it's the objective, other times it's just killing everything on the map.
Well, speaking of streaks, you saw several come in for Scump. Now it's Karma's turn. He has 4, looking to build towards some score streaks. Gets God, has to reload here as he wraps around the backside of Barn. As a team kill comes in, they get a freebie there. Joe at least able to tag up one as well, but now Karma is in, racking up time, turns 180 to try and pick up a player backside of Barn. Now it's his opportunity to push out and try to hunt down this kill.
And I think Niall will get the drop on him. Yep, there you go. Nice job by him to reposition, catch Karma off guard. Niall now beginning to slowly heat up. He was 7-17, now 10-17. As Red Reserve, just like we saw with Elevate, keeping the game close. OpTic have by no means been blowing out teams today.
Now, and you have to on this map. You cannot let a big lead
develop.
Come in earlier, you're just going to get absolutely throttled throughout the course of the game. But they, like you said, they've kept it within striking distance. Kills going back and forth in the final moments of Barn, but we're going to wrap back to bike path. Now some pressure going to be on Niall. He's the one set up in a position to make a sneaky play. Maybe let a player or two run by you here if they push down by Lemon. Going to wait for the calls from his team. Nope. Formal's ready for you in the corner, buddy.
Yeah, it's Formal's way ahead of you on that one. He's seen that spot many times before and does check it, which could save OpTic Gaming a bunch of time now on this hill. He's just going to fly out and challenge whoever he can near back bus and gets the help of Crim 6-2. I actually really like what I'm seeing from Crim right now with this ERAD. Always seeing him clean up weak kills that are called out from his teammates. He's playing at a very fast pace so far this map.
Yeah, and you've just seen what, you had a 5 streak from Karma earlier, multiple big streaks from Scump, Crim then getting involved, and that's what makes this team so deadly. Anybody can erupt, and that's what you saw at the end of that Enigma 6 hard point. Just 4 different players going off on streaks and just blowing up that lead versus Elevate. Now you see it starting to build for OpTic Gaming.
OpTic are more than happy to contest this time. They're more than set up to just go ahead and get more time at baseball for the new hill. Karma's still just staying alive. They'll trade it more efficiently. OpTic keep the spawns. OpTic get the scrap time. They're now at their largest lead of the game of 70 seconds, Maven.
Yeah, they're opening it up now for sure. And this is where it starts to get really scary for Red Reserve. You don't have the spawns to come in for Statue. Formal's got Blue watched. You have Bowling watched by Karma. You have everything that you need here. As a grenade takes a very awkward turn.
All right. I think that might have...
What did that hit?
The top of the globe, maybe? I have no idea.
Just shot off to the left. But look at that. That's exactly what you needed. So if OpTic holds there, you end up like 120 points or so. This game is over. You get an amazing break from Red Reserve. Remember, you still have the streaks, though, available on Scump. I don't believe he's called in anything yet. He's still sitting at positive 10. Oh, sorry, he did use there's Bombardment right now. So he kills one on his team, picks up Shawnee. His teammates clear out the rest, and now you've got time for Scump to rack up.
Yeah, Scump back in this hill. He's the closest player to 30 kills in this lobby. Now looking for more as he's still got streaks to use. The camo player, that was Joe, who just surged on through, tries to use it for the break, and it's for nothing, Maven. Only 15 seconds left on that hill and he tried to camo it.
Oh, Scarab basically hits him in the shin, but you don't get much from it at all. You will get the final moments, like you mentioned, and you're still in striking distance, but now it's going to be setting up for mid-map. Oh, God, it was, I think, Joe that was waiting at the mid to be prepared for the push from underpass, but he gets shut down by Scump, and then everybody gets cut down. Niall with a 2-piece. The rest of the team getting involved as well, and now you're racking up some time.
They got to go big right here. Red Reserve, this is your chance to get some much-needed time on this middle hard point, and then set up for Barn to mount that comeback. Still keeping this one close. Only 45 seconds between these teams. Niall's flank might be just a little bit too late, as 3 of his teammates have died around him. OpTic Gaming do get the break.
And now it's going to be on Urban in the front to try and find the opening kill. You know, saw his teammate sniffed out in a close corner. This time, Shawnee able to find Scump in the opposite spot. And some time for Red Reserve. Flying over the middle of Zurban. Nice shots as he cleans up both. Crim and Formal will drop. And there's 15 seconds remaining here. You get the rest of this time. You're just down a little under 40 points. But pressure now coming to Shawnee. He's going to be the lone man here as his teammate's trying to get back. He just tries to get out. There wasn't any play he could make in the hard point, but he's cut down before he can exit.
And think we saw Joe use camo earlier on to get the rest of the scrap time at that baseball hill. Now there's no payloads ready to go for Red Reserve. OpTic, on the other hand, have 2. Crim about to earn one of his own as well. So this can also come into play big time as we set up for this barn hard point. OpTic get 3 kills. It's Red Reserve again fighting from the back.
And that's all Crim with that ERAD inside barn. Deadly as always. He kills 2 players to get set up. And now you just need 35 more points here for OpTic Gaming. Crim currently on a 3 streak. Can we actually go to his POV for a moment? I don't think we're going to see the camo at this time. Might have found with a Scarab, but didn't get shot down. Formal actually gets a couple of kills. It's going to be Formal and Crim trying to hold the back.
And Crim's ready for this one. He's playing the close corner. Urban not expecting him to be there. One final push from Red Reserve to see if they can get the break. They do, based off the back of the combined 2-piece between Joe and Shawnee to swing the trades in their favor. But now OpTic Gaming, you've got such a big lead. Set up for the new one. Drop down that Centurion, pop the payloads when you need to, shut the door right here before we go to another potential money hill in baseball.
Let's get over to Niall real quick. He's going to be the number 1 on your minimap. He's going to have a gunfight here to set up for the new hard point. His teammate actually looks over him. Shawnee able to pick it up, and now you transition out of barn perfectly here into bike path. The first challenger comes on in. Niall shuts him down. They're trying desperately to bring this comeback in, and you like to have him in this position where he's going to be your Centurion player. That's going to help him deal with any kind of nades coming through as well, and they are trying to hold strong.
I really think you've got to use it here. I mean, you've got Centurion now. Actually, with your teammates still with top middle control, you might be able to just hold on to it. If you can get a perfect setup for the new hill, that could be your saving grace. So far, the kill feed all red. Look at the scoreboard. 2 streaks from 2 players, a 4 streak from Joe that was just stopped. Shawnee picking up a kill of his own. This is just like the OpTic Gaming Elevate map where it was so close down to the wire.
Now it's all on Niall, though. The break coming through, almost able to snap and find 2. There's just enough time for OpTic to win it here. You have to contest for a second or 2 if you can. A team kill comes in for Karma. Is that the opening that they need? Urban, the lone man pushing in. Joe now by himself. You have 6 seconds left. You need 6 points. OpTic Gaming ticking through, and there's the W at bike path.
Scump with the 40 kill exclamation mark there to carry OpTic to that map 1 victory. Again, it wasn't the prettiest of games, but they just wind up closing it out.
Yeah, this map just works for Scump, man. I feel like he's a lock for like a 40 bomb, flirts with 50 from time to time.
When he's shooting this, Scump was shooting perfectly in that entire map. Every time we swapped to him, it was 2-3 pieces right there. 60+ engagements for him as he drops 40, and I believe like 26 for the win.
And I think the confidence from him, the speed he was playing at, also combined with what you saw from Crim6 with the ERAD, that was just, I think, too much pressure for the side of Red Reserve.
Well, there's a look at Red Reserve. Tough map 1 loss there, but thankfully they were in higher spirits earlier this weekend when we had a chance to speak to them on Media Day.
Knock knock.
Who's that?
I eat a map.
I eat a map who?
Gross. Don't really get it, but...
Did you hear about the horse and the pig are dating?
No.
They're in a stable relationship.
Alright. What do you call Irish furniture?
I don't know, Joe. What do you call Irish furniture?
Patio furniture.
Did you hear about the new movie called Constipation?
No.
It's because it hasn't come out yet.
What time did the man go to the dentist?
4 o'clock.
2:30.
Close. What is the #1 cause of divorce?
Don't know.
It's marriage.
Why are the fences around a graveyard?
Why?
Because people are dying to get in.
What has 4 wheels and flies?
Aeroplane.
Nah, garbage truck.
I'm not getting these, I'm not gonna lie to you. What did the shoes say to the pants?
Don't know.
Sup bitches.
Does it actually say that on there?
Yeah. Oh no, it says sup britches. Let's redo that.
Guys, have a little bit of fun there with the bad jokes.
I think they won, dude. The goal is to not laugh. And
Yeah,
they were
and,
doing a job.
I didn't, and I don't think they did either until the final one. But to be fair, those usually work a little bit better when the guys understand the jokes and laugh. Joe, I think at one point said, "I'm going to be honest, I didn't understand any of those."
Which makes a lot of sense. Either way, though, Red Reserve, they're down 0-1 in this series. We talked about how they're still trying to fight for a potential top 2, but it really starts with a series victory here. Simple as that. Here's your map breakdown, though. Scump, 40 kills, a 1.48 KD, the most kills there on OpTic Gaming.
And yeah, you see that for Joe. 0.94 is the best KD on Red Reserve. So for those of you taking notes at home, if your entire team goes negative, you typically lose. Yes, you do.
But hey, they did put up a good fight. But look at where the difference in time was. That baseball hardpoint, that barn hardpoint, the two considered money hills on the map. OpTic just did a better job of breaking on through, forcing those spawns out for Red Reserve, and then holding it from there. You think of the payload uses too from OG. There's nothing too crazy impactful, anything that really stood out. Scump actually used his reactive armor to close out the map to get that last 3-piece, which gave him the 40th kill.
Yeah, I mean, they just had a comfortable lead throughout. Never really blew the doors open, but I think every time I've casted OpTic on that particular map, they outslay the opponents, and it's still a close game.
Yeah.
I've never seen like a real lopsided victory, at least I can think of in recent memory. Throwback, a tough map to blow people out on.
Well, when you outslay someone so heavily on a different map and they're spawning all the way across and having to take 15 seconds to run back to the hill, you expect the team to get more time off of that. Where on throwback, you get 4 dead on baseball, they could just spawn near that middle rails and be able to supplement the hill right away.
Mid rails are blue and they're in 2 seconds.
Yep.
But next up, it is going to be Breakout, Search, and Destroy. You know, we just saw Elevate. They looked pretty abysmal on it the first time they played it on day 1. Day 2, they won it. They looked much more solid. We're seeing teams adapt to this map as it is new to the CWL rotation. Curious to see what we'll find from OpTic too. You know, Crim talked a little bit about them mixing some stuff up. They've been very good at search and destroy, but they're trying to find new and fancy ways to make plays.
And what's kind of funny is, for viewers who've been tuning into the CWL every week, first off, thank you. Second, it feels like we've seen this a bunch now because we, as casters and viewers at home, have seen this played, 4 times every weekend. Meanwhile, to the players, this is OpTic's first time having an opportunity. This is Red Reserve's first time having an opportunity to play this in a major LAN setting.
Formal has the snipe off the get-go. There should be a gun. Can we go to number 7? That's going to be Joe. Joe is flanking behind. Joe's going to have easy kills. He's wrapped all the way through. There's the first one. Formal coming with the span down. Second, he challenges in window. Yeah, that's a gunfight you maybe don't want to take until you have a teammate collapsing on it. But he can get forward. They're distracted from the front. Joe gets caught though sprinting around the back. It's now going to be Crim by himself in a 1 versus 3. Make it a 1 versus 2. He's in a position. This is a very winnable gunfight. But now as they team up on him, can he win a second? One more bullet there, and he would have put it to a 1v1.
Yeah, Reedy getting those shots on him as he's floating towards that bulldozer makes a big difference there. If Crim wasn't one shot, Crim actually cleans this up, and then it's up to that final. Oh, sorry, not Reedy. Shawnee. Wow, I thought for some reason the Y just immediately put Reedy in my head.
I do that stuff all the time, Jack.
What you do is now happening to me, and it's not good.
That's what happens. We live together, we gym together, we say dumb things together.
See, it's true friendship. As now OpTic Gaming are down 1-0. Red Reserve, solid first round. It was all started by Joe's first blood. We'll see if he can do it again.
Well, Joe playing very, very fast, and there was one playing all the way back in cell block. So if he were to peek the outside with the E-Rad, he's going to be all focused on showers here. You see on X-ray, one right on the opposite side of the wall here. He's gotten a call out to go ahead and retreat back. He's going to go help out at mid-map.
Look at the spread right now from OpTic Gaming. They've got the outer wall run watched. Even if someone low wall runs that, Scump will be able to spot it.
Well, let's go real quick. I want to see what Formal's POV looks like if they hit that site. Okay, I thought they're going back to mid-map. So yeah, I thought they were going to come around the top side of B and they were just going to get chopped down. But they've just been going back and forth. They can't decide what they want to hit.
Yeah, and OpTic, because of this, are taking some advantageous map positions. But here's the weak part of the setup. It's one player in showers, Karma all by himself. There's 3 members surging in from Red Reserve. They easily clean him on up. First blood and a quick plant now for Red Reserve.
Okay, so Scump is able to answer back and turn it to 3v3. Crim gets one mid, Formal then around the backside gets a kill. It's now going to be Joe all by himself in a 1v2. He has E-Rad out, playing here in the close corner. They've cleared out the outside of shower, so they know he's got to be out on the wall run or out waiting in a corner. He gets the jump onto Scump. You got to win that, buddy! You got to win that!
You most certainly do. Thankfully for Scump, Joe winds up holding that angle, which lets Scump slide on through, which is oh so powerful, and gets the cleanup kill there to put OpTic Gaming on the board.
You know, you got to think, even if he wins that, or even wins that first one, he's pretty tagged up. He's probably in trouble, but...
Did you just injure yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. My thumb is bleeding. I somehow cut myself while casting.
Wow.
I actually have no idea how I did that. Like, what is even near me that's sharp?
I don't know. We might need to get Maven a little Band-Aid and a lollipop.
Well, a couple weeks ago, I threw my cell phone across the room. Now I somehow injured myself while casting.
Things are just going down.
Oh, all right, OpTic back to offense. It's going to be a 4-man hit towards Graveyard, grouping up together, looking to overflow this side of the map, and they're starting to back up. Nile, they spotted one towards the back tank. He's got a little bit of help there, and Shawnee rotating over. Well, Shawnee's... Oh! That's a hell of a win. Krim got first shot there. Nice job by Shawnee to control that recoil.
Yeah, and Shawnee challenges Karma right away, so 4 versus 2. OpTic trying to hold this push, and that's a big nade from Formal. But now, oh yeah, Scump's gonna get overwhelmed here any moment. There it is, good cleanup for Red Reserve. Nice retake of that B site, and it all started by this man, Shawnee, 6-1 on a 3 streak. Gonna get the defuse. He's now 1 kill off the Scarab and just a couple away from the reactive armor.
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Shawnee there. We'll see if he can keep it going. But this is a must-win map, like you said. Not just for the overall chance of winning this series, but just in the fact you desperately need maps. For those of you now you're not familiar with it, yes, I know we keep talking about top two. That's what matters for the playoff. But third, still a key position, because that third place is going to get you into stage 2. It's going to get you into Anaheim pool play. It's going to get you into the CWL championship in August. There's a lot of stuff still to play for.
Nile and crew, this is your best game mode. You've got to secure a map win here. It's absolutely a must. You've got a round count lead, and again, they're changing things up on offense. Look at the focus they have this time around. 4 middle map. Are we going to see a similar thing, though, where they kind of back up, second-guess what they're doing? Those are tough shots for Scump. Yeah.
That's
Nile and Shawnee just punish him for that one.
Yeah, that's one where I think Scump's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have shot there with the E-Rat at that range. You can get that kill, but it's not an easy one by any means.
No, that's one where you wish you had a K-bar. He got him down to a sliver of health. Good help, though, coming in from the boys of Red Reserve to clean that up. They're taking command of this game, Maven now up 3-1.
And what, OpTic have now, they dropped a search on day 1, and did they drop 1 map yesterday or 2?
I believe the search that they dropped was to Red Reserve, right?
Yeah, okay, all right, that's right. I think they just lost the 1 search, so see if Red Reserve can keep it going right now. Up 3-1.
And I believe Red Reserve have already played this weekend against Elevate, right, in a game 5?
Yes.
So they've already experienced this on land. OpTic have not.
That would have been an extremely dumb kill if he got that with a K-bar from across map to window. Tagged him up but not able to finish it. Krim going to get your first blood. Karma has bombed down, and now it's going to be a post-plant play with a man advantage for OpTic Gaming.
Scump, they're trying to overwhelm him in middle map. They send 3 players here. Look, he's getting call-outs, just spinning in circles, gets the kills. It doesn't matter. He's got Karma watching over. And as long as he can spin and hold right trigger, the E-Rat will do the rest of the work.
Yeah, a break dancer with a submachine gun. He's just sliding, spinning, but able to take out Shawnee.
You got your Band-Aids now.
Oh, yes. I think I'm okay. I think that most of the bleeding is stopped.
Good.
If you I just faint on broadcast. It's not that bad. Don't worry. I didn't
it's maybe a paper cut.
I think it is actually a paper cut.
Oh.
I don't know. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. OpTic trying to come back into this one. Red Reserve still up around. They're taking the attack to mid-map. And on offense, we've seen aggressive plays towards mid. We've seen them run back and forth several times trying to decide on what bomb site they want to attack. But yeah, I mean, we saw Formal back somebody down from window the last round with a K-bar.
Oh, there's a timing in the back of the map. Timing in the back of the map. Yep, Formal dies to Urban. Joe with the cleanup on Karma. And just like that, it's a 4v2 again on offense.
And that's a couple of times now that we saw what Formal got caught in round 1 by Joe on a quick flank. He gets caught by Urban here. Now Krim, this is his second 1v3, I believe he's been in. He's tagged up from behind, 4-2. Red Reserve staying alive.
And they're doing the job by getting control of middle map. There, you see Shawnee back up, I believe it was Karma, in that top window near Laundry. He pushes the player out of that sight line, which takes away all of OpTic Gaming's vision. Because of that, Joe is more than free to charge right through that side showers. There's no call-outs to the OpTic Gaming member in there, and they just get pushed and taken over.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I mean, there's been a couple times that we talked to the guys after the Uplink yesterday versus E6, and they were saying how there were they weren't calling out people alive. The communication was off a little bit. On a new map, maybe you're not as comfortable with. Maybe something's happening as well. Not all lanes covered. Not full awareness here, but Karma should have an engagement momentarily. There he slides around the edge, but it's Joe able to take. Urban then comes in with 2. That pistol, man.
It melts.
That's been fancy for him.
It melts, especially with if you have that trigger finger for it. Formal gets one. Now he's pinned, though, in this top window. He's got a pinch coming in the next few moments. Not even able to get the second. 5-2, Red Reserve on the verge of going to a map 3. Tied up 1-1 with OpTic Gaming. Really a best-case scenario, because we know how weak they are in Hardpoint. This is exactly what this team needs to do.
Yep. And then hopefully, you know, you can push them the distance in the uplink and maybe take this to a game 5. And I mean, they have their number in search right now. We've seen that, but you have to have the ability to at least take one of those 3 respawns. Let's see if they can close it out here. You have FTL available, reactive for Shani as he started off really, really strong. I'm curious. I wonder if Shani pops this as they hit mid-map. He's
Another
held on
first
for
blood.
now. Joe gets the first blood. There's Shani using the reactive armor, but he gets cut down. 3-2 advantage for OpTic, and he had him use the big ability.
Joe not able to get out with his life as well. Urban by himself. Does have his FTL jump. Now, typically, I would say just jump right off the map. No reason, but you're up 5-2. Another thing to point out as well, you're 1 kill off that Scarab.
When you said that, I pictured him FTL jumping off the map for some reason.
That would be good.
But he's in a 1v3. Can he clutch here? So much time on the clock. We've seen Krim on the opposite side be stuck in a couple of these spots and not be able to come up. Can Urban now do it?
Formal kind of just pushing there by himself while they know Bomb is down at A, so gives him that free kill, which will get him that first streak. A plant and a kill right after as well.
Oh, he is,
that Trinity.
He is so dead. Yeah, the swarm comes in. The good job by the other 2 players in OpTic Gaming, sticking together, hunting as a pair. And he had no chance in this position whatsoever.
I think Red Reserve's issue there was they got a little bit over eager. They get that first blood at middle map, and you see that second challenge towards a player in that back laundry window. I forget who exactly it was, but that was not a smart challenge.
Oh, well, I think it was Shani with the reactive. So
yeah,
he basically, I think he got a kill with the reactive, then went vertical trying to use what little juice was left to take out the player in the window, but got gunned down.
So Scump's got his payload. Formal with his as well. Urban, the only member of Red Reserve to have that ability good to go in this round 9. How do they come out into play? We'll have to find out here.
Scump, see if he uses reactive in this position. It's going to be Joe that's tucked away on the backside
They've
of
played
Showers.
that same spot this whole game. Krim's the only one who's killed the player out of it so far.
Scump being patient here, waiting for things to develop. There's some gunfire going down mid-map. I believe they backed the player out a window, and there's the patience pays off. Joe comes sliding in. Scump says, hello.
The Scarab doesn't actually spot anybody. He held the perfect angle. Now Urban trying to get fancy. Will shut down 1. Just like that, it's a number advantage to Red Reserve. Reactive armor got popped. Scump popped the reactive armor. Doesn't even see him. Urban's dancing all around.
Oh, and he gets the jukes as well around the back. Urban, a savage, and now it's Formal in a 1 versus 3. He can't win the first one, and a Red Reserve gets it done.
Urban showing why he's one of the best players in Search and Destroy so far this weekend. Some fancy footwork on the side of the map. Baits Scump into popping the reactive armor and makes it look easy as he cleans up both. You can tell OpTic under-practiced and still a lot to learn about Breakout Search and Destroy.
Well, and again, they said they were going to try some creative things this weekend, and I just, not to knock Red Reserve, but I just don't think OpTic are that worried about them in the sense that they don't think they can beat them in a respawn. Like, there's not a question in OpTic's players' minds right now that they're not going to take all 3 respawns against Red Reserve. I mean, they felt so comfortable doing it so far this weekend. Can Red Reserve shock them is the question.
We'll have to see. Obviously, OpTic played a close uplink earlier on today. That is their first map loss of day 2. Them and Enigma 6 could really wind up having a similar map breakdown if OpTic can now run the table with these maps as it goes on. Remember, all eyes are on Red Reserve for their chances to still get in that top 2. They're narrow, but they are still there. OpTic Gaming with this one will basically be in the clear for all things considered with that first place spot.
Which was very, very expected. But the question is, can Red Reserve take the uplink? Can they take the hard point here and push it to a game 5, give themselves another chance in a search? We'll find out after this very quick break.
It's our final match of the night, which means it's time for one more G Fuel key player matchup. This one between arguably the two MVPs so far this weekend for their respective squads. It's Scump, who's been a madman in the respawns, but Urban's specialty has been that S&D. As you can see, a 1.43 coming into the series, and he did even better there on Breakout to secure his team that map victory. Now going into Uplink, though, both of these players will be the shining stars trying to lead their team to victory. We've got ourselves a tied series. This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
I should be an all-star because I bring objective, slaying, and a lot of other things to the table.
I think that my veteran status and my play as of right now is good enough to get me in there.
Probably shouldn't be an all-star. I'm pretty reckless, to be honest, but I feel like that's what I should be.
Why I should be an all-star is I bring a lot to a team, and I'm an OBJ, but I could also do much more if I need to.
I should be an all-star because I'm just the weirdest, literally the weirdest on the block.
I should be an all-star because I do it all. I can fill any spot, I can play with any player.
I think Joe from our team should be an all-star because he's a very well-rounded player.
I'd say Joe, but Sean beat me to it.
I give the crowd what they want, whether it be something that the crowd wants to cheer against or cheer for.
I should be an all-star because I'm the best player in Elevate, so you want the best people there, don't you?
I truly am an all-star player. I can snipe, and that's always fun to watch in all-star games. As an all-star, you just got to be one of the best, so that's why I think I deserve it.
I should be an all-star because I'm by far the greatest Call of Duty players ever live in Europe.
Thankfully, all the casters share all-star votes alongside the community, or else, Maven, I feel like you try to make Formal be every single vote for both teams and have it somehow be a 4v4 Formal only matchup.
I would watch that.
We were just mid-conversation. We were mid-conversation, and Formal came up on the screen talking about why he should be an all-star, and you literally stopped and looked at it and listened. Stop! That's exactly what just happened.
It did.
Don't try to. Don't.
I was intently watching the video.
But no,
you got a monitor right over here. I was like, oh, good, great job, guys.
You mentioned this because this is obviously, you've been friends with him for years. But even the other day, I think you were tuning into different streams. You joined his chat, and you kind of you were talking. Someone went, how long has you?
Oh no, somebody called me out. I was in his chat. Somebody called me out for not subbing to him. Yeah. And then I guess you do. I don't know what the thing is.
It's exclamation mark how long?
Yeah, how long? And I'd followed his stream for like 7 years. I've known the guy since before he even played Call of Duty. I've been casting him for ages. But nah, man, we have a lot of fun with that particular topic. But on the other side of things, are you starting to get the feeling a little bit like, remember how we were with Moose last week? Like, I was just like, somebody help this damn man.
Yeah.
Like, Millennium was losing, Moose was going off. Like, is it turning into a similar story right now with Urban for Red Reserve?
I think that Urban's got a little bit more help so far, especially from Shawnee and Joe at times. It's not as one-sided as Moose last week with Millennium, but you can absolutely see some similarities with the numbers the guy's put up so far. He's been electric, definitely one of the best players this week, and if he does get into the top 2 with his team, absolutely my vote for MVP.
Well, I mean, I think I read something like they would need, if they don't get a victory here, they have to at least get a couple maps, then 3-0. Like, there's a bunch of crazy scenarios developing, but everybody drops for Red Reserve, and the attack is on for OpTic Gaming. It is Formal trying to set up at the edge, pin them in the back alley. As he gets one in drop, Scump now has to go back to mid-street, take the easy 1-point toss in there. The damage done first.
How is he alive?
Scump's still here getting kills. He had one looking over in mid-street, I guess.
Scump finally dead, and who is it? Urban with the 2-piece to kill Scump and Karma, as now he'll begin to flood up the map. Unfortunately, Formal is right there pre-aiming with that K-bar. OpTic Gaming already taking a ton of map control as they're just wiping everyone off the map.
And you'll see right now, Krim going to be that NV4 player, Formal K-bar in hand, at least for the time being. Shawnee peeking the edge, trying to look for the kills, so get dropped immediately. That's Scump and Karma going to be moving on forward. They've got into a nice position here in Ticket. Drone in hand, a little bit of hot potato, but finally Niall killing everyone, including his teammate. But it's enough to clear out Ticket.
It's actually really interesting to see so far the versatility from Crimsix and the weapons he's been using in his matches today. The E-Rad gets brought out there on throwback Hardpoint where he's flying around. He's really the lead aggressor for his team with some of the most engagements in the lobby.
Yeah.
Now switching over to that stable NV4, playing more of a turret-type role, being the guy that kind of sets up, gets a couple kills, moves up the map. Sets up, gets a couple kills, moves up the map.
Well, I'm impressed with Krim just because you got to think about what he's sort of gone through over the course of his career. He's deep in his career now. I mean, think back to the Complexity roster when it was basically, him and Aches were like the Scump and Formal now. The guy lead slaying all the time. Your Kobe and Shaq that are battling back and forth for who's going to drop the more kills. Krim's not that guy anymore. He's the guy who could be in the X Factor, slots, making the smart plays.
Oh no.
Your guy picking up the kills is the good man on your screen. Scump going off 5 and 3, but
kind of funny. We just mentioned how good Urban's been coming to this game, and he just gets turned on there by Scump in a terrible, terrible way. OpTic still trying to push his drone forward, and I think right there for me is a perfect example of at times where OpTic can struggle in Uplink. There was no reason to try to push that drone forward, try to follow into that top ticket window, lay the drone down, play a corner, wait for your teammates to spawn up. They're just focusing a little bit too much on the objective there.
All right, well, we're back on with Urban, though. Karma quickly melts him with an ERAD as he pushes out. Joe still here, looking to trade some kills back and forth, but he's by himself, gets tagged up. Karma completely holding the edge there at Statue, making sure nobody can go forward. He just soars on in after the reload, taking out Nile. So 4 in a row here for Karma. He's starting to explode, really close to getting the Scarab and build towards that Trinity rocket. Also, impressive, I mean, it's a big thing that he goes huge because he will be a camo player as well. Jammer, doesn't bother me, shoots right through it.
And now OpTic, they want to set up for this spawn trap. But all dead again on Red Reserve. They need someone to get back to lobby as soon as possible. Will Karma be the guy to do it? I do believe so. Yeah, he's got to go. They should have sent someone here a few seconds ago. Now Red Reserve up the spawn. Kills have been traded so far. Final 2 are here. Crimsix still alive. Joe gets it better of him, so maybe a 1-point play for Karma here in the next few seconds.
See if he can get it off. Tries to bounce off the wall. There's the toss. Nice job from Karma. And would you have preferred maybe he's the one that sticks around and slays because he was on that streak? Yeah, but I think he had 10 bullets in his ERAD. He ends up being the man that has to go back and grab it and gets forward for the 1-point play. So there you saw why Karma's so special, man. Whether it's the slang, whether it's the ability to make a play with the drone, the guy can do it all.
Oh, he's extremely good Call of Duty player. There's a reason the man has 2 rings, and it's because he can fill any role for his team. We talked about what he did earlier today when OpTic kind of needed someone to just pick him up in that hard point. He goes on a 7 streak to really shut out the map. The 1v2 with the camo clutch on Crusher, Search and Destroy. You could think of more individual plays from him, really more than anybody in competitive Call of Duty in the last couple of years.
Well, it was Krim for just a moment holding Statue there, but Formal answering back. Urban trying to put shots into the drone carrier mid-map, but it's Shawnee that's able to pick him up. Now they're pushing forward. You have a lead blocker. Your lead blocker just got obliterated by Scump, so things will slow down for the moment. You have a second player here to work with. It'll be Shawnee trying to get over the top with the NV4. The movement might save him there as his teammates dropping around him. He's got to play a sneakier spot. Wins the first gunfight, gets away from 2 and 3. Doing a nice job staying alive so his teammates can get back in the action, but finally he's picked off.
So what's funny was Marky B and Nolson on this map last weekend for Millennium did a great job of finding the open lanes, finding the open spot, and either pushing it or kind of hiding in a corner and letting a couple enemies pass, shooting them in the back, and then getting a lot of map positioning because of it. OpTic have done such a good job of clearing corners that they don't really give the other team the confidence and option to even do that. 5 seconds left, last moment dunk there, and it's from Karma. OpTic will go into the half with a 3-possession lead, 6-0. They're dominating in this respawn.
Yeah, that was one hell of a half from really everybody on OpTic's side. I mean, just looking at the score line, but Karma, man, he was spectacular. Getting it done with the gun, getting it done with his head as well as he puts through at least 3 points for their team. The final 3 points in that half. Fantastic stuff all around. Now the shot of Red Reserve. You got to muster up something here. I know you're tied up 1-1. This isn't the elimination map in the best of 5, but you just haven't seen much of anything. I know Throwback was somewhat close, but you haven't got the feeling yet that they can take a respawn.
Shows just how good Karma is, that he's the closest really to his payload outside of Urban in the lobby, and he's running camo as he's trying to get there as fast as possible. 3 dead again on Red Reserve. The final kill should come in momentarily as you can see in your minimap, Crimsix is actually trailing the player in lobby. Formal will be the one to engage. There's the help with Scump, and now OpTic Game will go on the offensive.
Here they go. Formal drone in hand. He's actually getting rather close to picking up a Trinity rocket as well. The shot goes through. He ends up falling. The kills go back and forth. You've still got everybody now coming off of spawn to set up for lobby.
We've
Joe,
seen this,
the first to drop.
We've seen this a few times from Joe this weekend, where he just has a bad map. And here's an example right here. He's been a non-factor so far. You need more from him if you're going to have any chance of coming back in this game. What is he, 8 and 15?
And remember, I mean, at the end of last year, coming into the beginning of this year, even back to PSX, like the first event we had, I was high on Joe. I thought he was playing brilliantly. I'll still remember like that. I think it was like a 14 streak or something stupid he went on Throwback Hardpoint when the game first came out. What's going wrong with him? Because it seems like, if anything, maybe he's gone backwards a little bit, or is it just a rough weekend?
I think he's having a rough weekend so far. Obviously, a very talented Call of Duty player. But you know who's a little bit more talented is Scump right now. 20 and 13, the 3-piece, nearly gets the 4 times multi-kill. Thankfully, Crim6 again with that NV4 is there for the help. He's just hitting his shots right now at 16 and 12.
Joe getting pressured here. Him and Shani able to get bullets in and cut down the push. They're trying to defend the swarm that is OpTic Gaming. There's only one player remaining. That's Scump. He's tagged up from behind, so it'll slow down OpTic yet again. Drone in hand now for Shani. They're going to try and take it to the bottom of the map, maybe set up through mid-street. You have one player in lobby. That's going to be Nile on the mini-map, who might be able to set up a flank here, depending on how he opts to push through. But they've gotten up mid-street. First couple of kills going the way of OpTic. That's going to silence everything.
That just shows how desperate this team now is to try to get a point on the board. They just tried to send the drone through back alley.
I've seen that succeed. I can think of
Clayster was the only one.
2-3 times this entire year where I've seen somebody kind of go through back alley and score.
Yeah, Clayster did it with overdrive and a lot of weird plays for the opposing team. Scump with 2 more. There's the dunk. I mean, this has been a wash from start to finish. OpTic, this is the most in control they've looked of in a game so far today.
Yeah, this has been a completely dominated performance. 2.5 minutes to go, and I think Red Reserve's just thinking, all right, well, let's get to the hard point. Let's get to the hard point and see if we can bring it back. I know we've seen some insane comebacks, but there is not even, has there been an attempted 1-point toss from Red Reserve?
I don't believe so.
I can't think of a single one. And that just shows the level of dominance you've had kind of across that 50-yard line through lobby, where it's just been completely dominated by OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point to bring up. Like, we saw like the 24-0 or 24-2 a few weeks ago with Envy.
Yeah.
And then the other team actually had a chance to score. Red Reserve haven't even.
I could be off on that. There may have been.
No, I can't think of one either.
I can't think of a single time where they've even like brought the drone in attacking position.
Wow. Now for OpTic, I mean, 90 seconds left. You're looking forward to the next map anyway. You think it's going to be a breakout hard point. I think we're going to get a little special treat here from our buddy Tapi prior to it, but for now we'll just keep on seeing how many points OpTic Gaming can score. I think that's the game we're on now, and there should be 2 more for Karma here with the drone.
There it is.
Wow.
Okay.
He laid that one in, I think.
I don't know that any part of that drone got in. That's got to be the furthest I've seen somebody from the actual portal able to put it through, but just Karma things, as he's now got 5 points.
That's a dunk.
Here we go.
It's a dunk.
Yes. Points on the board for Red Reserve.
All right.
It took the overdrive, but they do get up the gut and get something in. But, I mean, just not trying to over-celebrate, but it just has to feel good that you had some offense, at least here in the final 60 seconds. But it has not been a pretty game.
No. And now with 45 seconds left, that spark of life comes after 9 minutes of play. Now you need to multiply that score by 6 if you want a chance to win this game, and it's just not going to happen. So either way, moving forward, OpTic Gaming still lights out in the respawns today. 4-0 map count in them. Looking to make it 5-0 now as we head to another hard.
Well, I think the problem is, like, you know, like we saw Millennium do last week on this particular map. You can swing the drone quite a bit to kind of fake people out. You can send some nice flanks through. To me, it seemed like Red Reserve sort of tried to play heads up with them and like fight at Statue. You are not going to win that fight. Nope, it's not going to happen.
I don't think they ever won an engagement at Statue overall. It's been that the entire time we've been watching. Look at the performance again from Scump. He drops 40 and 26 map 1, 35 and 23 in game 3. OpTic Gaming now 1 map away from being 4-0 for the first 2 days of the Green Group.
Well, you can see why, you know, Scump, MVP for Dallas. I mean, you could have given it to basically anyone on the OpTic roster for that event. They were all brilliant, but it's terrifying. And you know, there's times where he starts slow and then he erupts. There's times where he's consistently dominant over the course of a game like that. The man can do it all. He's got the perfect pieces around him on this OpTic Gaming lineup.
Scump has improved so much since the first event this year. He looks way more comfortable, happy he got over that fear, really, of using the ERAD where he just always thought he just wasn't good enough with it or wasn't comfortable with it.
I talked to him
with it more and more and more.
At Vegas, he was like, I hate the thing. He's like, I don't like it. I do not feel comfortable whatsoever. That has changed quite a bit. Obviously, there's been some buffs to that. There's other weapons, so there's been more to it. But now he's been amazing with that and the K-bar throughout the course of the year, really since Vegas. I mean, honestly, Vegas was probably one of the poorer events he's had in his entire career. He's known as Mr. Consistent if you look back really since the beginning of Scump being a thing.
Yeah, and there's a reason why he's been considered arguably the best Call of Duty player of the last 6+ years of games. Either way, though, Red Reserve now on the verge of another series loss, and the issue is this has been plaguing them this weekend. Because they've been failing to win respawns, they're now in a spot where they're in a game 4, and they must win a hardpoint against the best hardpoint team really in the world.
Well, if you had a coach like Mr. Teepee, maybe you'd be able to figure it out. To break down this next hardpoint, we're going to just that man.
Thank you so much, Maze. A little tips with Teep session before we get into this breakout hardpoint. So we talk a lot about fundamentals on the analyst desk of how the right way to play hardpoint. And it's a step-by-step process on rotations, especially moving over towards these money hills. So the one I'm going to break down for you guys is the rotation from cave, number 3 at the top of your screen here, over towards 4 at commissary. So let's get right into this. It's a step-by-step process. Step 1, you need to block the spawns. And what I mean by that is get a line of sight on it. So you need to focus on this one towards the back helipad. Is if you get a line of sight on that over towards either middle or on this right side here, as soon as you get the line of sight on that, that's when you're going to start blocking those spawns. So every single kill you get when you have that line of sight, whether it's here or here, that's going to force these spawns all the way out towards this second hardpoint, forcing the team to have to run all the way back over to their team. So as soon as you get those kills, you can flood towards the back, and then your player over towards middle or loading. In this situation, I have Scump on your screen. He has the decision at that point whether to go middle with his teammates or go all the way front because he knows he has the number advantage. The team has the spawns blocked towards the back, so it gives your teammates that freedom. So step 1, block spawns. Step 2, take out the anchor players, which is probably going to be Shawnee in this situation. 3, flood the hill, break it out, get the hard point time. Hopefully, if you're new, that breakdown helped you guys out a little bit as we go into this map number 4. Back to the casters.
Brilliant stuff as always, Teep, as we get ready now for the hard point. This is not going to be an easy task, but you just feel like if they could get to that game 5, you feel really, really good about Red Reserve. I have no idea how they're going to take a map like Breakout. I know we've seen some swings here, some crazy upsets. You know, a 2-3 kill spree can be so monumental, leading to 60 to 90 points, but it's tough to pick that way.
This is looking more and more like the same story from when these teams first matched up, a 3-1 victory for the side of OpTic Gaming. A situation where they just close it out in the final hard point. There's a look at the boys on the stage. Just wait for that countdown to finish so we can get into game 4. This could be potentially the final map of the day, a very quick day of CWL Pro League action.
Yeah, and you would end 2 days for OpTic Gaming, only dropping 2 search and destroys, both the Red Reserve. The other side that had a really big day, I mean, Enigma 6 had an incredible day as they just destroyed 6-1 in overall map count. They'd be right up there with OpTic. And today was a story of what? NA versus EU in every single matchup. It has not been a good day for Europe.
That's just like what we saw last week, and I was actually reading a lot of people's thoughts on Reddit COD Competitive and Twitter and European Call of Duty fans. I think a lot of them are hurt that their only representation at playoffs could very well be Splice.
Well, to be fair, I think we can all admit that, or agree that Splice is far and away the best team right now in Europe. But
that is no doubt, but at the same time, I think from all the times we've seen Europe participate so far this year, they got our hopes up to send at least a pretty solid amount of teams to playoffs, maybe even try to split it, but instead, it's on the verge of it being just Splice as the Lone Rangers from that region. OpTic Gaming versus Red Reserve for what could be potentially the final time of this weekend now on Breakout Hardpoint.
And Joe has had a tough day. Let's see if he can bounce back in this hardpoint. K-bar up, will be hitting loading. First engagement's formal, and he's gone before he can, basically before he even gets gun up to shoot, he was gone.
And I actually like how they're putting some pressure on those spiral stairs. It was Urban who was trying to flank, but Karma actually reads it like a book. Everyone dead on Red Reserve. OpTic Gaming into early control.
Let's, the flank developing here. I want to go to Krim. Yeah, he's got a couple kills in a row. There's going to be a third. There's a 4th opportunity. He's going to challenge. Thought he was high. Thought he was going to go vertical there with the jetpack, but unfortunately for him, keeps those boots on the ground. All right, now back to mid-map with Joe. See if it can go better this time around. Now Red Reserve and the Hardpoint starting to pick up some time, but the spawns are now controlled for cell block. Joe almost wins that one. I don't know how much would have mattered because you still had a flood of green arrows on that side of the map, but it looks like the cell block is perfect. This is scary.
This has actually been really, wow, Crim, even with the beat down behind. This has actually been really interesting to watch from Crim6. ERAD map 1, NV4 game 3, K-Bar map 4, and he's done exceptionally well in every single circumstance. He did a great job with the pressure he was putting on with the ERAD in map 1, was one of the highest in engagements, was around positive 1 to 2 the entire map, always making sure he was trading efficiently. Now, 9-1 in this Hardpoint with the K-Bar, going off in the NV4. He was locking down lanes last map.
And sometimes, you know, Karma gets the glory for being the clutch guy, and you focus on Scump and Formal and their slaying, and, you know, Crim, sometimes it seems like people forget about him, but guess what? I'm still here. He's almost got the bombardment in 8th streak right now. Crim crushing off the opening for Breakout.
11-1, everyone positive on OpTic Gaming. There's another fully streaked is Crim6. Formal clears the hill with the 2-piece, and now OpTic Gaming, they're going to look to go for this early rotation towards Grave and further expand this lead.
And he's going to be the first entry player as well, so the kills he's picking up are important ones as well. He's now spotted 3 players. Yep, absolutely streak this out. It's going to back everybody out. He has 2 players there, I believe, that can help the bombardment. It's going to come down. You see on the minimap, everyone retreating out. Crim able to still pick up Joe, and now the flood comes through. High off the wall run. Shawnee in the back is down. Crim streak still going. 13-1, double-digit streak. Formal, I mean, we were talking about Crim. He's 7-1 as well. I mean, both these guys just going off. You can just hop right on down to the next player.
Formal now looking for streaks of his own. There's one. He's got the Warden on, unfortunately, though, for OpTic fans. Joe there for the trade. Nice job by him to cool him down just a little bit. 93-18 the score. One thing we do know about Breakout, though, you can never count a team out, Maven, for how this map, with how many money hills there are, if a team just early rotates, sets up in the correct way, they can get full 60s over and over and over.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've spent a lot of time on OpTic, obviously, with the big streaks that were going down. Let's swap over to Red Reserve here for commissary.
3-17.
They're going to be the first team. Can we actually go over to Urban? Because he's going to be the first man kind of leading the cutoff here for the street. You see he's got 3 in front on X-Ray. Teammate picks up 1. He loses that second engagement. Scump kills all 3. You had a line of players for Red Reserve on the left side of the map. And Scump just lines them all up.
No, don't get too excited. One of Scump's kills there was his teammate. So it
all
was
right.
2. It was 2, but still, I think that sums up the game Urban's having so far. We just did the key player matchup between these 2 guys, and where you've got Scump now at 7-6, Urban 2-11. I would say this is his worst map so far this weekend.
Oh yeah, this has been a very, very poor first half for everybody. I mean, it's tough to even pick anybody out. Joe, nice shots though. Crim just doing a little bit of a bunny hop there to see over the top. He gets caught. Joe going in between the crates, wins a second. There's a 3rd player in the back. The slide, able to get him out of it. Nice grenade now. It's probably good to get your gun in hand. And there, a 3rd, 4th, give it to him. Joe crushing right now on commissary, not getting any time, but he almost cleared out the entire team. There was nobody there to help him, so.
He's doing everything while his teammates are just dying around him. Joe was trying to break back in, but got no help. So Urban's struggling. Urban is struggling. That should have been an easy kill for him. Now 3-13. Nile right there with him as well. What are they being outslayed by? Almost 20 kills?
Yeah, I mean, and the best play we might have saw was Joe getting those 3 kills, and none of them mattered whatsoever.
Yeah.
You didn't get any time for the hard point. It didn't affect anything on rotation. It just spawned OpTic out into a good position near mid-map. God, I mean, there's not anything positive. These are the tough matches to cast, buddy, where it's super, super lopsided. Like you saw in the uplink, you're seeing it here as well. You know, Red Reserve their search absolutely carried them. It was what, 85% I think it was at Dallas. Yep. Something between 30 and 40% for their respawn. So it was all getting to a game 5, taking 1 respawn. They just haven't proved they can do it against the likes of Enigma 6 and OpTic Gaming.
As I was talking about earlier, and that's what we've seen all weekend. Formal 16-5, Crim 17-6. Formal already a minute inside the hard point. Thankfully for Red Reserve, they have at least rotated here early on and will have a number advantage towards this backside of the map, but OpTic Gaming are pushing through. They have no clue. Formal is close inside Laundry. Crim wins a gunfight as well. It's collapsing right in front of our eyes here as OpTic Gaming push right on.
Everyone wins their fights. I mean, Formal gets two easy ones. Crim wins a nice gunfight in the back, and
Jesus, man.
They're busting through. Like there's no competition. Like it's mean the way it's ruthless in the way that they're busting through these holes.
It simply comes down to one-on-one gunfights, and they're just continually being won by the side of OpTic Gaming. Joe does get that flank right in, but Even then, gets one before he's traded on that out. Does give his team an opportunity, though, to hit this wall run.
And I know we talked about it a lot. We mentioned it earlier, but, you know, you see Scump going off all series, right? He's been destroying. Scump right now even, it's like, who's the next guy up? Oh, it's Crim and Formal, who are now sitting at, God, basically 40 and 14.
Yeah. Crim just hit that 20 kill mark. Far and away, top in the lobby alongside Formal. They're just chilling inside the objective. Still a 90-second lead, so Red Reserve not out of this yet, but Crim and crew, they've been holding on to these streaks for so long. Expect them to potentially come back out again if they need him in this Graveyard Hill.
Nice little shoulder peek and checks it as Karma. Will get dropped, but everyone else on the kill feed, yeah, the rest of the kill feed goes to OpTic Gaming. They're about to crack the 200-point mark.
Crim's dropping streaks on him as well.
Yeah, he has pinned them in Snow Street, and he actually got 2 kills with it as well.
Karma pushes the middle. Wow, this is going to be a big time difference on Graveyard between these teams. More Trinity Rockets coming in. Off the spawn again. You like Crim 6s? Now you got Formals dropping down on you. Karma got to keep pushing middle, keep forcing players to engage on them, even when they're not even near the hard point. Not expecting Crim on this flank. Not the prettiest gunfight, but still gets the job done. One final player here, traded on out. OpTic Gaming will get a full 60 and still potential for a 100-point club here in game.
Crim had a 10 streak, now it's a 7. 26 and 7. What a performance from Crim 6 he is crushing. I mean, God, it just looks so easy is what is terrifying about it.
Positive 38 is OpTic Gaming right now. That is one of the most one-sided kill-death differences I've seen so far in the global pool.
Especially with how few kills there are. I mean, you've got 14 and 15 for Scump and Karma, so this is technically kind of a low-scoring game. And for it to be that wide of a margin, that's just due to the blowout nature of it, but the streak will finally drop. These should be the final 10 points. They're all going to hit the wall run. Let's go to the one player by the Hardpoint's Formal. He's going to be sitting here just looking at them, trying to lunge across. Perfect shots in the first, second. I want the third. How about the fourth? Everybody drops. One last tick. OpTic Gaming.
That right there was a statement. That right there was OpTic Gaming showing why they are the best team in the world. 43 kill difference. That's like they just played a 6v4. You might as well just put it that way. I don't know how that makes sense, but I'm just going to say that. You could basically spawn us 2 on their team right there, and that's what it was like having on their squad.
It's just like, you know, Elevate at least, you know, when we saw the first series, it was a 3-0 for OpTic Gaming over Elevate. But if you watch those matches, every single game for Elevate, you felt that they
had a chance.
Here, you actually get a better result from Red Reserve in the sense that you win one map, but the 3 they lose, they get obliterated. But what matters? That one map they went in search and destroy is what it could come down to for the 3rd, 4th spot, or maybe someone making a fight for 2nd over Enigma 6. But God, I mean, it's just wild to think about the 2 series that OpTic have had today. Like how much better Elevate technically played in my mind, but you come up with nothing for it.
And now you've got yourselves a pretty clear-cut top 2 and a pretty clear-cut 3-4 right now with Enigma 6 and OpTic. Enigma 6 3-1, OpTic 4-0. And you look at Elevate and Red Reserve, the 2 European squads, their struggles continue.
Well, we were running out of things to break down as it turned into a bloodbath late in that series. I am curious what our analysis have to say. Benjamin, take it away.
Thank you very much, Clint. Final game of the day underway. It was a 3-1 victory, of course, for OpTic Gaming, and last map was a little bit of a breeze, but we'll start obviously at map number 1. Something interesting to note, it was a 250 to 205 game. OpTic outslay, but they don't win by a massive amount of points. I mean, yes, it's almost a weird critique, right? You're saying, oh, they should have 100-point clubbed them. But still, Chance, you almost feel as if they should be winning these games maybe a little easier.
Yeah, I'm on the boat. It's just a weird critique at this point. It's one of those things that you say if OpTic doesn't outslay, they're not going to win. But does it really matter when they're going to outslay on Hardpoint every single time? Again, it was a plus 20 kill differential in the first one and a plus 43 in the second. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how they play. In Hardpoint, they can do whatever they want, and it's going to be fine.
I mean, there's a look at our post-game breakout, or breakdown, I should say. Baseball 71 to 28 points. And, I mean, Barn 94 to 52, Merc. I mean, that's a big difference.
Yeah, just the 2 money hills that we talk about all the time on Throwback, Barn, and Baseball. OpTic dominate. But, I mean, Red Reserve, I mean, taking that bite pass, getting up 28 points, that's pretty impressive. But really, it was just Scump from the beginning. He just dominated all game. You can see here the game was pretty close, but then Formal just closed it out, and that was the game for OpTic.
Scump drops a 1.48. When a player like Seth starts getting on a rampage like that, how do you shut him down?
It's really tough. He did it to us actually last event. He starts off like 10-1, has a massive start, massive game, and sometimes you don't even feel his presence. You know, maybe he's just slaying too much, maybe he just gets in his little zone, and you don't notice it, but it's obviously working, and they're obviously getting the kills, and it just shows.
Moving forward into the Search and Destroy, of course, map number 2. This is one Red Reserve actually took. It was a 6-3 victory for them. And look, they actually go up 5-2. What went right for Red Reserve in that game 2?
They just seem comfortable, honestly, and I think that's just sort of the discussion that Breakout Search Destroy, well, Red has a game on it on land. I highly doubt OpTic practiced it at all, and it just seemed like they were just trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. Their first time playing it, so I think Red Reserve just seemed very comfortable, and Urban, he was doing such a great job on this A side, just using that wall run to his advantage, and you know, they were just playing really well. This is one of the few times we saw Red Reserve just play together as a team.
Yeah, Urban had a fantastic map, that's for sure. Something interesting to note, there was Joe's positioning on defense, Chance. It was something that, you know, myself, you, Apathy, TP were all kind of sat watching. Playing the same round, or sorry, the same position every single round and dying every single round. Surely, is there a time you think, all right, maybe I should change what I'm doing?
Honestly, I would say no. It looks bad from an individual player perspective, but at the same time, they won 6-3. Joe is getting information for his team. He's getting first blooded a decent amount, but he's still picking up kills, and his teammates are still able to pick up for him. So if you're winning, I can't complain all too much.
I agree with that, but for the most part, you know, it also sucks at the same time because he's getting first blooded, and they're almost having to win 3-4 at times. And, you know, just dying first time, like the first death on your team is so important because it's hard to win 3-4. Yeah. But they do
Crazy,
it.
Right?
They do it.
Fact. That's a fact.
They do it, which
Numbers,
is the crazy part. But yeah, I really felt like he should have switched it up after a death or two. I felt like he should have changed his position, maybe go with his team, you know, fight together as 4, but he didn't.
Yeah, that's just one of those positions that we see all weekend. It's a nice little elevated corner, but you know, luckily Urban is watching over him, and that's the game plan. Urban's watching over him. Joe's in that corner, and you've seen it sometimes. It seems like Joe goes a little bit too quick. There was one round, I forget which round it was, but there was a Scarab. It goes in, it doesn't see anyone, and he just follows it up. It's not like it even hit anyone. It's like, why did you do that? They know they're gonna follow it up. Just some stuff that was a bit questionable, but a great win for them.
Yeah, still, a win is a win, right? Yeah. So you tie up the series 1-1. Then we go to map number 3, and again, it was an utter breeze, it felt like, for OpTic Gaming. They kind of shift into another gear, and it almost felt like Urban needed a little bit of help in game 3. He was doing everything right and everything he possibly could.
Yeah, the similarities brought up during the casting that he's kind of like Moose. Yeah, I think is apt. Urban been playing fantastic in pretty much all game modes up until that final game. But again, just collectively as a team, Red Reserve was just quite a ways behind, especially in slaying when it comes to going against OpTic.
Obviously, we saw the All-Star video. Scump says, hey, vote for me. Another fantastic performance from him, Mirko, 1.52. He's just been playing well all day, it feels like.
Yeah, and this is what you want for Scump, because throughout the year, there's sort of been a question mark, really, on his motivation to play. And, I mean, the past few events, he's been back to that old Scump form where he's just dominating. He's putting so much pressure on the map. He's using an E-Rad, using that K-bar. It's so difficult to do it because when he gets in your base, it's so hard to get him out of it.
Definitely is. Of course, there you can see just the closing moments of the map. It was, as we said, a dominant performance from OpTic Gaming in a breeze, kind of the OpTic Gaming that we expect to see definitely in full force. Of course, if they take the map, they go up 2-1 in the series. Then we go over to our final map, the Hardpoint. And really, Crimsix, he's been very outspoken, saying, hey, you guys got to give me a little bit more love. Gas me up, gas me up. Well, Crim, this is your time. Starts off 13-1, finishes 28-9. Apathy, Crim played phenomenally. I mean, again, how'd you shut down a player like Crim when he gets going?
I mean, it's difficult. They're all playing well, and he's able to, like, just maneuver around the map, pinch their spawn. Like, he was doing that so well, you know, pinching showers, shooting 2 in the side, shooting 2 in the back. And it's just, you can't really stop that. It's so hard.
There, of course, you can see a 91 to 7-point difference in Grave. Crim, a 3.11. Yeah, you're not going to stop that. It's almost impossible.
And that's what's so difficult about playing out the gaming. It's like, okay, Scump, Karma, they're a little bit quiet. Well, now you have to deal with Crim and Formal. Oh, Crim and Formal, they're a little bit quiet. Well, now Scump and Karma sort of step it up. And it's been very difficult. And these guys, you heard the casters talk about it. They don't even rotate. They just challenge gunfights, beat you in one-on-ones, and dominate the game.
And that's what makes them such a good team, is the fact that they're so consistent. You know, like you said, if two of them are not playing so well, the other two pick it up. And certain teams struggle because they always have one player doing bad, but that doesn't happen with this team.
That really just is completely absurd. Plus 43 in kills. Like, that's got to be one of the nuttiest stat lines. I mean, Jack called it like a 6v4, but that literally is like having an entire another player dropping a 40 bomb on your team sort of thing, and not like plus 43. That's insane. That's got to be that's a record for GPL or something like that. It's just nutty.
It's definitely a big difference, that's for sure. But congratulations to OpTic Gaming, a 3-1 victory over Red Reserve. Now we're going to take a look at our standings to see what effect that has had. Shocker, OpTic Gaming sitting pretty at the top, 4-0, 12-3 on map count as well. Enigma 6 right behind him at 3-1, 10-5. For Red Reserve, they're 1-3. Team Elevate 0-4. I mean, Merc, for Europe, it's not gone well, has it?
It's not looking good. The good thing is Red Reserve, they beat Elevate, so they have that third spot. That third place spot, very important. You know, it qualifies you for Stage 2, qualifies you for pool play at Anaheim, qualifies you for Call of Duty World Championship. So a very important fight still between that third and fourth team.
Yeah, of course, for Elevate, although you are 0-4, you're definitely not finishing top 2. I think that's almost guaranteed at this point. But still, you could fight for that third place spot. And as you said, it is very important. Yeah. So we can take a look at tomorrow's schedule, find out when all those squads are going to be competing at 2 p.m. Elevate versus OpTic Gaming. It's basically a must-win matchup for them. Enigma 6 versus Red Reserve. That's going to be at 3:30 p.m. Red Reserve actually back-to-back. They play Elevate at 5. And to close out the evening, Enigma 6 versus OpTic Gaming at 6:30 p.m. That could be for that #1 seed. But we have day number 2 now in the books of the final week of Stage 1 of the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by PlayStation 4. OpTic Gaming is sitting pretty in the #1 spot after another flawless day. GPL action continues tomorrow at 2 p.m. as our 4 teams fight to clinch their spot at playoffs. We'll see you then for more Call of Duty esports action.